This week on Tecumseh Whitetail Nation, we're going to the great state
of Mississippi.
And we're hunting a sure enough great property.
Yes.
The Double B Plantation.
Yes, sir.
And Mark, you're managing that.
Yes,
That's
sir.
one of the Tecumseh managed properties, and Mark has put the Tecumseh touch all over that thing.
That's right.
Food plots galore.
Food plots, and lots of them. We have mostly monster mix, and we mix in a bunch of other stuff as well, but monster mix, clover and chicken.
Main course. That's your main.
That's what's made that farm what it is today.
Now it's 700 acres roughly.
750.
750. And how many acres in food plots now?
We have about right at 80.
Right at 80.
Yep.
10%.
Yes, sir.
A little over. And that grows big deer. I know because I've gone there and shot one of them myself, and I have seen the product of your effort. And here comes Mark. Now this is almost ready. What we'll do here, Jordan, is we'll come back in on this food plot when Mark finishes disking it, and we'll bring a drag in here and drag it level. Yep. So we have a level seed bed. He's cutting it now. See how deep he's cutting here? He's getting about 6 to 8 inches of cut here. Yep. And he's working it up good. And then he'll come back and we'll drag this, create a level seed bed, come back and broadcast the seed in. We could grain drill it, but this small plot we'll use a broadcaster. Broadcast it in, then drag it again. Yep. And then we'll have a food plot.
Then we'll have some stuff growing, and we'll have some antlers in the fall.
Growing inches, antlers, baby. Mark, I don't live in Mississippi, and I honestly don't know that much about it, but I do know about the Los Hills of Mississippi. They're famous. I studied those when I went to school at Auburn. Even back then, we knew about the Los Hills.
Yep.
And they're one productive part of Mississippi. Tell me about it.
Yeah, the Los Hills is, again, it's a unique part of the state of Mississippi, kind of like the river being a unique park. The Los Hills is a unique park as well. It is formulated by topsoil, basically.
From the Midwest?
From the Midwest, and it's a very silty,
very fertile.
Very, very fertile soil. So one of my favorite soils for growing food plots in.
Well, I've seen it firsthand. It's incredible what it grows. It is. Basically, you have hills with river bottom type soil.
That's right.
The year before last, the top 6 deer on 750 acres averaged 164 or 5?
166, the top
160,
five. The top five average 166 in score and average 235 in body weight.
It's amazing. It's amazing what you can do on a great piece of property with food plots. We're going to find out on this show just what that management strategy can produce in the great state of Mississippi.
I always like Christmas opening these things up. This Reconyx by far is my favorite camera out of everything that's out there. There's so many different ways you can utilize this thing, and my favorite is the video mode. And also along with the video mode, you can actually play it right here on the screen. One thing about checking cameras, even when there's not a shooter buck in the daylight, that lets you know where not to hunt. Some good clips there though. All right.
This particular property, the Double B, it's in Natchez, Mississippi, which is in Adams County. And Adams County, in my opinion, is one of the best county, if not the best county in the state to grow big deer.
South?
In the South, it's right on up there, maybe the best in the South for growing big deer.
It is. Well, this property that you're managing is called the Double B.
Yep.
It's owned by
You have Robert Boyce and Tom Besselman. They own this property.
And it is a fantastic 750 acres.
Yep.
And Mark has now populated it completely with basically monster mix, which is white clover and chicory, and it is lush.
Right.
It's lush.
And again, we always talk about the better food plots you have, the better native habitat that you have. And we've done some thinning, we've done some burns to do all we can for the native habitat.
That's right.
But those food plots is the driving force on that whole entire property. So I continually keep high tonnage, high protein food on a year-round basis. That's the secret, and that's why Double B has some really, really big deer.
I love what Robert and the guys have done with their facilities. They've built kind of a world-class practical setup there. They got this gigantic barn.
Yep.
And they've got the 2 house trailers under the barn, which keeps them cool. And so you're comfortable there year-round. Then they've taken this big metal building, and they have finished the front of it and the inside to the hill. It's a great lodge.
Yep.
And then they got a house over there that's mighty nice as well. Their facilities are fantastic there, perfect for that place.
Absolutely. And you know, one thing, you know, we have all of these food plots, but we have one of the best infrastructures as well, so we can slip into the backside, get into that food plot, get out of that food plot without bumping the deer, and that's just so crucial, you know, when hunting food plots, especially in the South.
And especially on smaller tracts.
Yep,
I mean,
absolutely.
That's 750 acres, pretty good sized piece in the South.
Right.
But that's critical to keep that pressure down so those deer feel comfortable to keep coming out on those plots.
That's right. And then also what's key in this part, this is plantation country of Mississippi, okay? Most all of these farms now are managed to some high level degree. So all the farms around you is doing basically the same thing you're doing. Not as high as intensity as we are, but pretty darn close. So when you have a community doing kind of the same thing you're doing, everybody benefits of the big deer that you can enjoy.
Awesome. Yep. Well, between the facilities, the infrastructure, the food plots, and the management program you've put into place, this is basically a Tecumseh showcase property. And all I can say is, Mark, there is the evidence that it's working. But I've already seen enough to know this place is done right. And congratulations to all of y'all for that. It's a showcase place. It truly is. A Double B Plantation here in Natchez, Mississippi. Incredible place and great people. Now, you have a deer on there now that was 4 last year, I believe.
He was 4 last year, and he hadn't even showed up to cameras yet, but he's there. And he was a 4-year-old, and we estimated him in the mid-180s as a
4.5-year-old in Mississippi.
That's right.
He hasn't shown up this year. We're hoping he's going to show up again. But who knows? I mean, you know, there's a wild animal. You don't know what's going to happen to it. And they live on their schedule. He can be there and you not know it until he's ready for you to know. The rut may pull him out. That may be the first time.
Yes, sir.
But you got another one too, that big, heavy, was he a 9, that thick beam 9?
Yes, a big 9 or 8 or whatever mainframe you call him, because he's kind of crazy on one side. We've been watching him for a while as well.
Well, we just got out here on a 3rd morning hunt. It is still so frigid cold in the teens. Maybe even single digits this morning, especially with the wind chill. The other mornings we've been getting out way before daylight, and man, we just couldn't last till, you know, 9:30 at the most. So we waited till about 7, a little after 7 to get out this morning. It's already daylight. And hopefully we can sit a little bit longer. And
this week it's been really, really cold, and a lot of places in the nation you want cold weather, but however in the South it can get too cold. So finally the weather actually warmed up a little bit, clear skies, and we saw some phenomenal bucks. One particular that we call Big Thunder, he's a big 9-point, 150-inch deer, a giant buck. I would love to harvest him, but he's only 4.5. And also there's lots of great 2s and 3s here, so great afternoon hunt. We're just waiting old Mo's gonna step out. On this particular property here, we start trying to harvest them at 5. Now, I don't mean we're going to kill them, but we try to start harvesting them at 5. And then some of them I've actually let go to 6. I moved them off the hit list, and I wanted to see them for another year. Swiss Army was one of those deer.
195-point bucket. One of the prettiest deer I've ever seen. This deer's got everything, mass, width, just incredibly beautiful. He's a non-typical, but he's very symmetrical. He's an incredible buck, and it is a testimony to the management they're doing here. Now, once again, we talk about the importance of these properties to the whole family, and this is the case here. When I was down there, there was a ton of the family members there enjoying the ranch. Robert Jr., in fact, we have him hunting a great buck on there that you guided him to, I believe.
Yeah, we did. Was able to guide and film.
Yeah, guide and film.
hit the licking branch, worked the horns on that, so that was pretty cool. Always get to see rutting activity.
You went after a buck that you wanted to take.
Yep.
He's a great old buck.
Yep.
Wasn't one of your top end deer, but you set your goal on him. The year before, you kind of noticed him, said, nah, I'm gonna give him another year, but I may go after him.
And this was a buck we called Old Mo. He was a 6.5-year-old.
Smart.
You know,
Yeah.
just a slick deer. I mean, we didn't have many pictures of him all through the year. I had more pictures of him the year before. It was one of those deer, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give him another year and see if he'll pop. If he don't pop, he didn't. He just didn't put on any. There's some deer, David, I don't care how much nutrition you give them, it just don't work. So, and that was one of those deer.
Yeah.
But I wanted to kill him. I mean, he was a smart deer, the oldest deer on the property last year, and I wanted to hunt him.
Big body deer here. I see him. That's my deer. That's that 10 with the short tooth. He's drinking in the water. Are you on him?
Yeah. Yes! 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 Thank you, Lord. Yes. Yes. That big joker, that is an old 5 or 6 year old 10. He comes right up to the edge of the food plot. And I don't know if those other bucks there intimidated him or what it was. He didn't like what he saw. He turns and he goes to go right back. And he hits one little opening that I got. That was not the best in the world, but we had to kill him. That's hunting right there, though. That's what those big ones will do. They'll come up the eggs, check. I think he was just checking for does. There's no does here. Oh, just a bunch of smaller bucks. Forget y'all. I'm going somewhere else. Oh, thank you, Lord. That is what deer hunting's all about right there. I don't care how many times you do it. Oh, that's what we hunt for. This feeling right here. Oh my goodness. Look at this deer. Oh my goodness. Look at the neck on this guy. Gee. Big old heavy horns. Big old body. Look at the neck. Gee, oh yes. That is a Mississippi deer in a Mississippi hunt at its finest right there. Golly.
One of our plans is, in any management plan, you know, we want to take a percentage of 8 points out.
Yeah, especially
and,
the lower end.
Right, and you've always heard, oh, you can't grow big scoring deer if it's 8. You've got to always cull 8s. Well, that's just not the case.
No,
right?
it's not
There's
true.
some good looking 8s
That you need to give age.
that needs to give the same attention to that your 10s and 12s.
Exactly. And this was one.
And this was one of them.
Y'all
Yep.
have been following this deer.
Yes, we've seen him for the past 2 years. You know, at 4.5, he was a really good looking 8. I said he needs another year. And then we culled several other 8 points that year as well. We did some really heavy culling that year. I said, folks, this 8, do not shoot. Let's leave him. Let's see him go another year, and I'm so glad we did. He was a stud
He
egg.
is a stud.
And I know you were glad that we
had the
did.
privilege of going after him. I mean, I hunted him for almost a week.
You did.
And then we had a weather change, so key, you know, to
Yep.
trigger that rutting activity. As soon as that weather changed, he popped out on one of the Monster Mix food plots. There's a deer right there. Okay. Get on it. You okay? Tell me when you're on it. You on it? All right, here we go. Here we go. And we'll take it. Whoa, baby. I'm gonna tell you what. We hadn't been here 5 minutes. Not 5 minutes. And that big 8 is down. Man, did we pick right here. Let's go get him. Holy smokes. What a beast. What a beast. These have got to be over 12, yeah, over 12-inch G2s. Look at that, absolutely. That's 9 and another 4, nearly 13-inch G2s. Holy smokes. A Mississippi deer. You tell me you can't grow big southern bucks. And look at the body on this thing. He is an absolute monster, a monster. Great day in the morning.